I'm going to be showing you some awesome RipStik tricks. I have the RipStik G, which is the big kind of the RipStik Ripster, which my brother has. He's a beginner, so he's going to be following along with me with the beginner tricks. Then after we're done with those, we're going to go into the intermediate tricks. Yeah, so let's go. Our first trick is a manual, which is another name for a wheelie. You're going to basically want to put your back foot as far back as you can on the RipStik and then lift your front foot. Leaning backward really helps on this trick. Yes, you got it. The next trick is just a variation of the manual, but you lift your back wheel instead of your front. It's basically the exact same concept. You just move your front foot as far forward as you can and put your back foot in the middle of the RipStik, and then you just lift it up and lean forward a little bit. There you go. Yes. The drop-in is pretty self-explanatory. You just keep one foot on this side and stomp down with this foot. But the only tip I'd give you is not to put your foot in the middle of the RipStik because it'll like slide down. I always keep mine towards the end so it keeps it on the ground. And you might want your wheel to be facing forward like that instead of facing like backwards. It's a little easier to do it like that. You can start in a sidewalk crack if it's too hard. Yes! First try. For front and back coasting, you're basically going to be riding kind of like you're riding a hoverboard. On a RipStik, you can't go fully straight. You can go a little bit diagonal. So that's exactly what coasting is. So for the front, you're just going to want to lean forward and push your toes forward like you're riding a hoverboard. If you go too far, you will fall. And for the back, you just push your heels back as far as you can and turn your whole body backwards so it looks even more like you're going backwards. There you go. For the jump start, you're going to want to get a small running head start before you jump on. If you get too big of a running head start, you will tip forward and fall backwards. But if you get too small on the head start, you won't be able to get on top of your RipStik and ride away. So this is about the distance you'll want. You're just going to run, jump on. Remember, if you're having any trouble with any of the tricks I'm teaching you, you can always practice them in the grass before trying it on cement. Once you get the hang of the jump start, you can do fun variations like jumping from RipStik to RipStik. Yeah! Alright, so the cheater's jump, which I like to call it, is the last trick before we get into our intermediate tricks. So what this trick basically is crouching down and grabbing the bar in the middle of your RipStik. If you have a RipStik Mini, you can just grab the middle. And then you're just going to jump as high as you can while pulling up as hard as you can with the bar and try to get as much air as possible. Now it's time to move on to the intermediate tricks. Oliver might try a few of them. Okay, the next trick is an acid drop. For the acid drop, you're just going to be dropping your RipStik and jumping right onto it. So I just lean mine against the pavement. I don't hold it up like this. I just lean it against the pavement and I start from this side. Some people like to start from here and try to like stomp like that. I think it's easier to just go from here, and you're just going to get a running head start and stomp down with this foot first and then get this foot on too as you just drop it like this.
The next trick is a backwards acid drop. It's the same as an acid drop, but you're going to hold the back rather than the front. I like to swing my RipStik a couple times before committing and jumping on, using my front foot first, then getting my back foot on, then wiggling to ride away.
Okay, our next trick is the flip start. For the flip start, you're going to be putting the RipStik over your feet, and then you're just going to flip it up as you jump on and land on the RipStik. So most important tip I'd say is not to put it over your whole foot. Try to put it more over your toes, and then don't think of yourself as flipping it and then jumping on. Think of it as your toes are carrying the RipStik over, and then you're landing on it. You can do it. Okay, so the next trick is going to be going up and down curbs. This is a very useful trick to learn, so I'm going to show you. So to go down a curb, you're going to want to take a nice big wheelie when you're going over the edge, and just keep on wheeling until you feel your back wheel drop off, and then you just kind of level it out in the air like that. Now, for going up curbs is a little trickier. So you're going to want to have both feet on the very edge of the RipStik, and then you're just going to want to do a wheelie once you are approaching the curb. And once you feel your front wheel get up, you're going to immediately do a back wheelie until your back wheel gets all the way up onto the curb, like that. Okay, I like to call this trick the Jump Start 2.0. So you're basically just going to hold your RipStik by the middle, and you're just going to drop it and jump on. Literally the only tip I have for you is just try to hold it as low to the ground as possible when you're starting out, and then start with your front foot and then go with your back foot. Practicing in the grass really helped me, so I hope it helps you too. The next tricks are the hang 10 and the hang 20. The hang 10 is where you put both feet on the front part of your board. To do this one, you're going to have your front foot above the caster, just a little bit forward, like about right here. And then you're just going to slowly inch this foot until you get it onto this one. This one's a little bit harder to balance than the hang 20, which is you put your back foot about right here, and then you inch this one backwards until they're both on the back. And for this one, you can actually wiggle like this.
The next trick is an ollie, which is the same thing as jumping. I did this footage with a rip surf, which is basically the same thing as a RipStik, just as one solid board. I'm definitely not the best at ollies, so bear with me. So what you're going to do is do a manual, and then you're going to jump while dragging your front foot up. This will level out the board in the air, so you get a little bit of height while you're jumping. It's the same concept as a skateboard, so if you know how to do it on a skateboard, it shouldn't be too hard on a RipStik.
Well, I hope you learned something from this video, and I hope that you come up with some new tricks too. I'll see you later.